morning, everyone. Welcome to another Coffee and Contemplation brought to you by Spotlight Recovery. It is May the 6th. All the fun Star Wars shenanigans is over, which makes me sad, but on we go in recovery. I've got a reflection today from the NA Just for Today. Haven't done this one for a little bit. Entitled, Are We Having Fun Yet? Which I like, and I really like that perspective and just talking about that in recovery more, because yes, it's a lot of work, but if we're not having a good time, why the hell are we doing it? So let's get into this. May 6th, Are We Having Fun Yet? Page 132. In time, we can relax and enjoy the atmosphere of recovery. From the NA Basic Text, page 56. Imagine what would happen if a newcomer walked into one of our meetings and was met by a group of grim-faced people gripping the arms of their chairs with white knuckles. That newcomer would probably bolt, perhaps muttering, "I thought I could get off drugs and be happy." Thankfully, our newcomers are usually met by a group of friendly, smiling folks who are obviously fairly content with the lives they found in Narcotics Anonymous. What an enormous amount of hope this provides. A newcomer whose life has been deadly serious is strongly attracted by an atmosphere of laughter and relaxation. Coming from a place where everything is taken seriously, where disaster always waits around the next corner, it's a welcome relief to enter a room and find people who generally don't take themselves too seriously, who are ready for something wonderful. We learn to lighten up in recovery. We laugh at the absurdity of our addiction. Our meetings, those rooms filled with the lively, happy sounds of percolating coffee, clattering chairs, and laughing addicts, are the gathering places where we first welcome our newcomers and let them know that, yes, we're having fun now. Just for today, I can laugh at myself. I can take a joke. I will lighten up and have some fun today. And this reflection is from the NA Just for Today. So just as general topic, I really like it. I'm glad that they spoke about it a lot. I think it's such an important piece in recovery. A lot of the messaging we get and carry is how much work this is and how hard it is, and you've got to take it seriously and you've got to do all this. Like, I definitely carry that message with people too when they come in and they're really struggling and like it's life or death and they're really nervous and scared and everything, just because you have to get into work and into a solution immediately. Otherwise, you're just sitting at home alone with your thoughts, which are just going to be obsessing around your addiction. So you need to get into action to get out of that space. But it can't be all that there is. Like, we can't just be doing recovery. I think, this is my perspective and this is how I approach it, I don't think we can be doing just recovery and all of this work just to get better and to heal ourselves from our addiction and stop living and being so addicted to whatever it may be, and that's it. I want to have fun. I want to get the best life out of this deal that I possibly can, right? Not just recovering from my addiction, but all of those things that I used to sit at home alone and get high on the couch thinking about and fantasizing about. I want to make the healthy versions of those dreams my reality. That's what I want to do. Giving up drugs was one of the hardest things I've ever had to do in my life because I was so addicted and felt that I was so dependent on them and that life wasn't going to be anything but. So if I have to do that and let go of the thing that my life has revolved around for years that I think is the be all and end all, then on top of doing all the work to prove that it's not and get healthier therapeutically and deal with all of those other issues, I also need to show myself how great life can be in recovery, how much better it can be, that constant payoff, if you will, of why I'm doing this, and that reminder of that it's worth it. What I'm getting up and doing this for every day, putting in all this effort and everything, and my everyday life becoming my new reward. That's another part of it too. A lot of us, for drugs and for addiction, so much of that takes hold because that becomes the ultimate reward. That hits the reward center in our brain, which is part of where our disease lies. So all of that gets hijacked, and our disease convinces us that our addiction is the best reward ever, which simply is not true. But we need to live that experience. If I'm addicted or if I'm doing recovery, you can't tell me that's the case. I need to go out and know that for myself. Therefore, I need to be building one hell of a life in this program to really be enjoying it and just finding that the motivation to be doing it to the point where a lot of days it doesn't even feel like work anymore, or it's something that I look forward to. Like in this last paragraph, they paint that picture of what a meeting looks like and sounds like, and I love that description. Our meetings, those rooms filled with lively, happy sounds of percolating coffee, clattering chairs, and laughing addicts. Like it just, I love that little picture it paints because it takes me there for a moment when I read it. And that's what meetings feel like to me now. Not every day, but a lot of the time I have more of this positive look on them than negative, which is so great. So anyway, that's why I really like that they had picked this topic and then they talk about this stuff, because that's such a big motivator for me. Just being able to have fun, really enjoy my life in recovery, really live it and love it and make it something that I really want to be doing every day, right? Because if it's not, then why the hell am I doing it? Like, what's the point? Like I'd said, giving up drugs was one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. So why am I going to do that and continue to do it and be motivated if I'm not getting a better life out of this deal? Like it's very straightforward to me. It just makes sense. So a lot of this work, because we're so resistant to it, and I don't want to do the steps, and I don't want to go to another meeting, and be honest about some shit that I pulled the other day and apologize again. All of that stuff. Sure, okay, we all feel those groans and I don't want to do this. But really, like, look at it this way then. Like, there's your ultimate payoff. There's the ultimate goal of doing this. You're getting a better life out of it, which is going to make you happier, more content, more peaceful. So the one thing is, why would you not want to do that? That's the question to ask yourself. And then the second is understanding that now you're in recovery, that choice is up to you. You get to make that decision now. We talk about the concept of free will and getting our will back. And a lot of people with step 2 and 3, that gets really confusing. Oh, but my will or God's will, and what's going on and who calls the shots and all this crap. I get that it's really confusing. So in this instance, this is where you're now getting your will back and being given free will to be making this decision. Do I want to live a life in recovery? Do I want to do this work? And ultimately, do I want to get a better life out of this deal? Do I want to build a better life for myself in recovery? Not just bare minimum, not just knowing that I'm not going to use anymore, actually having fun, real, genuine belly laughter, new friends that you can trust and rely on, people you can be honest with, who are going to be honest with you and be vulnerable and share real feelings and emotions and honesty and reliability. So many of these things that we just lose in addiction. Why would you not want to choose to incorporate that into your life and make that a part of the life that you can have now in recovery? I don't know. That's just me. That's how I look at this. That's what I want. That's what I'm working towards. So I'm hoping that makes sense with all of you. What else? There was something else here I was thinking about with this too. Well, I'm just going to mention a couple other points here in the reflection, and then we'll see if they come back. So just kind of caveats with it, just to kind of understand and look at this holistically. Of course, it's written by NA for NA, so they've got a bit of a sales pitch in here, Well, I like they said it, the second paragraph here. Thankfully, our newcomers are usually met by a group of friendly, smiling folks who are obviously fairly content with the lives they found in Narcotics Anonymous. Not always. Not always, and from my experience, especially a lot more in AA. Sorry, y'all. I love AA. Wouldn't be alive without it, but yeah, the crusty old-timer talk is real. That is a real thing that we have all seen and experienced, I'm pretty sure. So that's something else to know too, is that if you go to your first meeting or a group and that's more the experience you get, there's other groups. Not all meetings are like that, and you can find ones that feel and work better for you. So don't let it all sit on the shoulders of one meeting. So that's the one. And with that too, not all meetings are healthy. Not all members are great. Not all members are happy and are going to like work for you. Like that's the part with this too. It's not so easy as in just like NA exists and it's the greatest thing ever and all the people in it are great and they're going to be all honest and lovey and happy and help you with all that. Like, no. It's still a room full of drug addicts who are trying to not do drugs. So anything's on the table. Like, so it's like, know and understand that. There are these people that are going to be all this help and give you all this great support. So find them. Go to meetings and find them and find the people that work for you. My recovery may get you high. The people that I associate with in my recovery may drive you absolutely nuts. Everybody has a different program and situation that's going to work for them. So find what works for you. Find your people, find your tribe, find that support and community and make your recovery yours. Find the meetings that work for you, so on and so forth. So I just wanted to mention and point that out because a lot of people just, there's so much promise given in recovery and all these things that can and will do for you, but they're there, but it's not just so straightforward. It's not just so easily, oh yeah, just come and show up and then everything's going to be great. Not entirely. You got to keep working at it and searching and finding that solution for yourself too. So I just wanted to mention that as well and just make sure you know that also, okay? So there was the one, and I talked about the third paragraph where it just describes the meeting and what that sounds and feels like, that was a nice little way to get taken back there. I really enjoyed that. And then, I guess just, I just want to finish just back on this topic around having fun and what that can look like and what that's looked like for me in addiction. Because I think another thing too is that a lot of us get to that point where our addiction stops being fun. I know it did for me, and I hate this line of my worst day sober is better than my best day high. That's bullshit. I'm sorry. If my days high weren't great at some point, I wouldn't have kept doing it. Don't lie to yourself about this and say it was all horrible and all of that. It's an honest program, so be honest about it, So it's like, I don't like that line. I don't say it. It's important to not glorify. It's important to be able to, I think, when you're at a healthy space where you can look back and know that you enjoyed some of those times and there was this whatever piece and chapter of your life, and you're not going to go back to it, and that's not going to then make you think about it and relapse or any of that stuff. Because usually most of us, unless we're mandated, when we come into recovery, it's because we want to and we're ready and the fun is long gone. It has now all become suffering, and we hate that feeling and are sick of the suffering now. So that's now having gone through this whole cycle, which makes it all different and puts addiction now in a different place from where it is now compared to where it was, right? But so a lot of us lose the fun, and the addiction loses its charm, and it gets to that point, and then the suffering begins, and then that becomes unbearable to the point where now we have to enter recovery and find a better way of life. And so for that space, for however long or deep that rabbit hole goes, it can feel so impossible of how the hell are we going to have fun anymore? How is this going to be enjoyable? It's funny. This always makes me think of, it's a line by Barney from How I Met Your Mother. Of course, they're sitting in the bar, and that all glorifies drinking too much. And he's making fun of people who don't drink. And he says at some point, he's like, oh, and everybody's story who doesn't drink, every sober story always ends with, and then I got home. And it's this whole ongoing joke. And it's okay, sure, thanks, guys. Not a fan of that. And obviously he's a character, and his character's a dick and everything. But again, addicts were highly sensitive people. And so we'll see something like that and just be like, well, that doesn't apply to me. And then get all upset and make the show all about me and all that crap. But anyway, so that mentality is very common of just being like, oh, I'm not going to have any fun anymore. Like, what's that going to look like? But my life in recovery has been, first of all, so full, such a full life. In some ways, a little bit too full. I'm trying to wean back a little bit and just slow down a little, like stop and smell the roses if I wasn't allergic to them. Like, just slow down a little because I've got so much going on just between work, seeing family, friends, dating, social things that I like to do, going out, concerts, movies, dancing. Like, my day-to-day life is so full and plentiful. It is just gorgeous. It's absolutely fantastic. So that's the one. And like my recovery too, I have gotten re-educated, which has then built me this career and my life in recovery. I own my own business. I do full-time recovery coaching with people for a living. And I'm building this YouTube platform, working with other organizations to help support more people in recovery, which is just amazing. And that gives me this quality of life that I have. Like at points in my addiction, I was homeless, in and out of homelessness, and lived out of a suitcase and was desperately trying to stay in anybody's house that I could. I now have a 2-bedroom house all to myself. It's mine. It's unbelievable. Back with that education piece, my education took me on international field placements. I've gone and done placements in Cuba and Jamaica and met with governments and done like real humanitarian projects. Like, it is just so amazing. It is so vacations, tons of vacations with family. Like oh my gosh, I can't explain what oh gosh, I'm gonna get all emotional. I can't explain what a beautiful life my addiction has given me. And of course, I have so much fun doing all of this stuff, and it also becomes so much more because I can just so emotionally attach and resonate with all of this and love it and fall in love with this life and these experiences that I have. Oh my God, it's so amazing. So just know that if you're coming in new or you feel stagnant or something, I promise you can build such a better, fun, enjoyable life, a life worth living out of doing all of this stuff. I promise that you can do this because I've been doing it for over 12 years. And if you don't believe it, if you're still stuck, reach out to me. My contact info is in the description. Like I said, I do coaching with people. I'd be happy to talk with you to see on how I can help you build this life that you want in your recovery, okay? It is true. It is possible. It is there for you. So know that. All you got to do is just reach out and grab it. Do the work. Get buried in this stuff. Work at it like your life depends on it, because it probably does. And then just have some faith and trust in the process, and you won't believe the life that can blossom out of this. Oh, God. Oh. Whew. Okay. Wow. Did not expect to get that emotional this morning. There we go. Oh, my Lord. I'm going to leave you with that. I really hope some of that resonates for you and sinks in, because it clearly sure does for me. Oh, my gosh. Thank you for listening for today's episode. Please check out the description for all the other ways that Spotlight Recovery can support you. There's a ton of resources in there and ways that you can support us to keep growing this channel, or whatever platform you're on. Consider liking, following, subscribing, sharing, all of those things. It really helps us grow. We really appreciate it all. So I hope you have a blessed day in recovery today. Get out there and have some fun. Find that life worth living, because you really can. And I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow.